Here is Caribbean Studies Paper 1 for 2021. Right? So, a diaspora is best described as communities, people who settled and worked on new, people who live and work in the countryside. Nope. Communities developed away from the original homeland. So, I would believe that B would be the best answer. Under slavery, the Caribbean society was characterized by a rigid separation of classes. 3. Which of the following is an independent Caribbean country? Dominica. Alright. Because I think Montserrat and Martinique are part of the DOMS, right? Département d'Outre-mer, right? The French department. And Antigua is a dependency of Great Britain, right? The plantocracy was a term to use to describe the total slavery. The ruling class, right? Made up of slave owners and elites. So I think that would be the plantocracy. Which of the following concepts is not normally associated with the term Creole? Not normally. White person born in the Caribbean is not normally. So we have Creole food, languages, and enslaved persons born in the Caribbean. But white people are not normally being associated as Creole. Some people believe they do, but not normally. 6. The Kalinagos were labeled as violent and warlike because the Spaniards thought the Kalinagos were cannibals. You had superior weapons compared to that of the Tainos, vigorously protected their territories. Would say that too. 1, 2, 3, and that should be fine. Which of the following reasons did planters give for importing new laborers into the Caribbean after slavery ended? Let me see. I think newly freed people withdrew from the plantation work. I think that would be nice. Alright, so is that. Which of the following CARICOM member states shares a land border? We can have Guyana and Suriname. The term culture is best described as the way of life for people. 10. Which of the following statements best describes the Westminster system? There is parliamentary sovereignty and the clear separation of powers between the executive and the legislature. Okay. There's parliamentary sovereignty and there's no clear separation between the executive and the legislature. Or the prime minister is the head of, nope. The head of state is the head of government, but there is no clear separation between things. Okay, let me see. And there's a clear separation of powers between the executive and the legislature. So the head of state is not the head of government, just saying, right? So that's wrong. Parliamentary sovereignty is clear and there. Parliamentary sovereignty. No, I think it's constitutional, right? So I think it would be constitutional. So let's go with that. Constitutional sovereignty should be higher, right? The main tectonic process in the Caribbean results from volcanic activity, I would believe. Or is it subduction? Right? Is it subduction zones? I think volcanic activity should be fine. Main process in the Caribbean results from. I want you guys to link back at this. What do you think is the answer? Neocolonialism refers to continued independent situation where former colonies become new colonization of a country by a more powerful, an open colonization or informal colonization of a country. D. Which of the following elements is involved in the creolization process? Diversification, I believe. Wait, hold on. did Edward Campbell Brathwaite say about this? Right? What did Brathwaite say about it? Right? So he told us, well, the definition of pluralization should have it. Right? So if you're gonna define pluralization, right, by that, so it's contributed. So you're gonna see pluralization as basically mixing of cultures, producing new culture in some type of way, right? So it's gonna be something like that. But is enculturation a part of it? What is enculturation, right? Would enculturation be a part of it? I'm trying to really remember. I know that acculturation probably wouldn't necessarily be a part of it, but I want you guys to tell me, what do you think about this, and whether or not enculturation, right, is a part of it, right? What is enculturation though? Let me think. Hmm. So enculturation seeks the cultural acquisition of characteristics of a norm, a culture by a person of another culture. So I think it does involve enculturation. 14, the main aim of cultural education in the education in the Caribbean is to control the masses. Not for that, right? Not for that, and not for that. 15, which of the following theorists is closest to the theme culturalization? Edward Campbell Brathwaite. Which of the following is a non-economic indicator of development? Good governance. The dependency ratio is determined by employment versus unemployment. Which of the following is the main social indicator to measure the level of development in a country? Social indicators. So industrialization is not one, investment level is not one, level of investment, no. Economic distribution, though, that's important. Alright, which of the following are ways in which globalization presents itself? Right, so it presents itself in open economic spaces and commercialization of cultures. Which institution in this integration movement preceded the Caribbean Community and Common Market? I think this would have been the Caribbean Free Trade Association, because the Triple CM, right, the CCCM, right, that would have been different. So the Caribbean Community, so the Caribbean Common Market, I think that would be CSME, and I think the CARIFTA came before it. 21, which of the following Caribbean movements had globalization influenced the most? Feminism. I believe that is that. Wait, following Caribbean movements, feminism. Which of the following Caribbean movements has globalization influenced the most? I think globalization has influenced probably. What is it speaking about? Is it saying that is it saying that it's a Caribbean movement that globalization that has taken outwards? Or is it a now Caribbean movement that globalization has imparted on the Caribbean? I want to know which one it is. So which of the following Caribbean movements has globalization influenced the most? So I think it would probably be feminism, to be honest, right? If the globalization influenced the Caribbean movement. So which of the following indicators of development is generated from information that is derived from an inequality survey? Human index, I would believe. Which of the following years was the WTO formed? So we need to know when the WTO was formed, and that was supposed to be 1995, right? So we need to have that. The RSS is an institution of CARICOM in which of the following areas does the RSS operate security? Which of the following is not a reason why some Caribbean politicians attempted to implement changes based on Marxist thought in the latter half of the 20th century, which is not a reason? Influence of that is true. Success of that is true. Need to maintain tenets of colonial, that is not true. It was anti-colonialist for the most part. A major challenge faced by Caribbean countries is achieving integration would be insularity, I believe. Right? The members of the OECS share more achievements among themselves than with CARICOM partners. Which of the following is not an achievement of the OECS? Currency is true, High Court is true, Central Bank is true, but government, nope. Early 19th century writings from an indigenous perspective served to give credit to Europe, nope. Convince Caribbean people that the colony now, nope. Describe people living in the Caribbean prior to our arrival, nope. And reject notions of Europe, yep. Which of the following activities is an example of the mass media acting as an agent of socialization? Right? Mass media. Employing popular talk show hosts. Utilizing the most up-to-date print, no. Running an advertisement, no. I think it would be this. This would most likely influence the population, so it's a part of socialization a bit more than everything else. Social justice in society is mainly concerned with equal access. Right. Reliability in research refers to the extent to which a researcher is able to access up-to-date get similar results. That's replicability. Access to up-to-date information parts. I think that is validity, more of it. Make accurate inferences based on research findings or get valid results. Okay, so what would be reliability? What does reliability speak to in research? Right? So going back to com studies, what does reliability speak to? So what does reliability in research mean? So remember, reliability speaks to the consistency, or the consistently, how consistently, right, a method, right, measures something, right? So it has to be consistent. So I think it's accurate inferences. A hypothesis may be described as a question prediction of an outcome. Which of the following describes the purpose of a literature review? So summarizes the finding of the nope, explains the reason, not really, supplies information from consumers on the research, or sets to the context. A researcher wishes to conduct an investigation on the effects of physical abuse on the children at the primary school. Which of the following does he need before? He needs a consent of a parent, informed consent from parent or guardian. 35. Which of the following satisfies the criteria for a good research question? Does computer practice improve literacy in students? Why do this is yes or no question? Do general education teachers have special and special education to? Yes, they do. Yes or no question. What is a good strategy? That is just a lot of questions, I think. Let me see. What is a good strategy to improve student understanding, right, of the main ideas of Caribbean studies texts? Why do students seem so indifferent to Caribbean studies? I am not sure about the best answer here. It could be BRC. Hmm. This is not clear specifically to train students a good strategy to improve student understanding of Caribbean statistics. So I think this was singled down to students who only do Caribbean studies. I think this is a bit better. But if you have B, please tell me why in the comments. 36. Which of the following best represents the criteria for selecting material to be included in a research project? So it needs to be relevant to make sense. It needs to be credible and it needs to be accurate, adequate. Right? I understand. Let me see. Stability. I'm not sure what that speaks to. I'm not sure what those speak to. So D, I think, is the best answer. Dr. Goodwin told her students that while conducting their research, they should think about how the data will be collected and the impact on the data collection is likely to have on the respondents. To what research concept is Dr. Goodwin referring? Okay, ethics. No, I don't think it's so. Empirically based research. So he's saying that how the data will be collected, ambiguity in the research instrument, I believe. Alright, so I think they're referring to that. Alright, for you to gain clarity in the methodology, right, and how it would likely affect the response. I think it's alright, I think it's D, but we can have a look at that. And remember, if you have an issue with one of them, state in the comments. In which of the following categories of sampling techniques can purposive? Alright, so this would be non-probability. It's repeated. A researcher wants to see how mothers on a playground interact with each other. What method would be of inquiry would be most suitable? So I think this would be observation. Which of the following is the first step in selecting a sample for research? I would think you would have to define a population first. Wait, hold on. Determine how the randomized compile a list of parts. Deciding how to stratify the population. You have to define the population, then decide how to stratify them, and then do all sort of stuff. Right? Participant observation is viewed as subjective method of data collection because wrong conclusions can be drawn by the researcher. The main difference between a trend and a pattern is that a trend is observed over time, while a pattern is recognizable current data. Recognizable for in current data, recognizable over time. Is observation of dependent variables, while a pattern is not really. Probably it is recognizable in current data, but a pattern is recognizable over time. 43. The purpose of the conclusion in a research study is to summarize key findings, outline method. To provide a review, no. To summarize objectives of the study, no. We want to hear the key findings, right? So 44. Correlation in research refers to, well, correlation. So the clear relationship between two variables. 45. Which of the following is a probability sampling method? So which is probability? Alright. So probability. So if you're going to list the different probability sampling methods, I think simple random samples would be a part of probability sampling. So that would be the end of the Caribbean Studies paper 1 for the year 2021, right? Remember, if you have any issues with any of the answers, right, please leave a comment telling me the number of the question specifically, right, the answer you would choose over the answer I put, and why, right? Because everybody knows, right? So different people have different interpretations. So yeah, that's it.